So in the last session, we saw some web automation related operations, out of which we ended our session with drop-down list options. The one we saw was the selection of the car from Volvo to Audi, and today we are going to see the other two web related options, but in a slightly different way using some other third action. So we begin with checkboxes, and the web page for that is the one that we have been using, where we have a list of bike, car and boat and checkboxes for them. So I disable the one for the drop down, go to the browser automation list of actions, go to form filling, and since it's a checkbox, I'll use set checkbox state on web page. It's time to capture the UI element. We have one browser instance. Let's wait for the UI element picker. And let's go ahead and wait for the detection of elements. Okay, I hover on submit. That's an input submit box button. Yeah, so I right click on it and just do a capture one of the other ways instead of control left click, and it goes back to the action that we had used. Let's hover and check. Yeah, and this is what we want to do, either check it or uncheck. Since it was unchecked, we will use a check and straight away save it, and it's ready to run. So since it's attaching to an already existing browser, I need not close the application, web application. Let's go ahead and run it. Okay, looks like again within the remaining timeout message is what I'm seeing here. For the first time, it does take time within the remaining timeout period of 5 seconds. Timeout is 5 seconds. That's very low. Perhaps in the last session we changed it for something. And let's run it again. Oh, I realized one more thing. This is the select drop down, that is the URL from the last session. So let me stop it from here. Let me add the URL of the web page. And we are now ready to run the flow. Okay, it has automatically switched to the window in question attached to a running instance, and I can see a checkbox here. Can you guys see? Okay. Now I'll delete the one for the list box that we used yesterday, because we are going to see something else in continuation to the checkbox that we just did. Now I have one more web page, and that is for option buttons. Within the same run, we will interact with the checkbox as well as with the radio button, so that you learn one another action today. The UI elements, select radio button. In the recorder session, we selected the last option button of both the groups. Let's do the first option this time. I am waiting for the window to pop up. And as soon as it detects, I will do a control left click. Let me hover my mouse and verify. Yeah. Click on save. I do a control C, control V because we need it for the second group. Let's go ahead and add a UI element. It has identified the first radio button. I'll do a control left click. Let's do a quick verify. Yeah. But between these two web pages, we haven't specified anything so that it should navigate from the checkbox web page to the one that has the radio button, and that is done using the go to web page action that is seen over here. So let's add it in between after the checkbox. The URL it needs is the one for the radio button. So since it's going to navigate to the one to the radio button, I'll close this, the one for the radio button. I'll keep the one for checkboxes open because we're going to attach to a running instance, and this time let's keep it already checked and let's do an uncheck of it the other way around. So it will attach to the already existing instance for the checkbox web page. It will uncheck the checkbox, navigate to the page on the same browser window to the radio button web page, and select the two web pages. Let's check it out in action. The browser instance is same, so we shouldn't be attaching. We have given the same browser variable in the actions. So looks like it was so fast that we didn't notice the uncheck of it. That's where we are going to see one more action similar to what we did for Windows. The flow is finished. Yeah, now I can see the two option buttons correctly selected, but we missed seeing the checkbox. Now for that, what we will do is just like how we used wait for window, we will wait for that particular checkbox element to appear on the page. So these are Windows related actions. We don't need that. So wait for web page content. Wait for web page to contain an element, and the UI element in question for us is the checkbox. Is this the checkbox? Yes. That's the checkbox. And what's the time for this? Let's give a higher time so that it waits sufficient amount of time for that element to appear. And let me see what is the current state of the checkbox. When I click on back, it should take me to the checkbox page. I'll just refresh this page, and now this time it should go ahead and tick the box. We'll make the required changes for it. It's time to run the flow. What I'm planning to do is quickly bring the browser to the right so that we can see what's happening in the flow actions. There I can see it has ticked. Now it's on go to web page. I can see in the address bar the radio button web page and the selection of both the radio buttons. Did you guys notice everything from start to end? Okay. That's the usage of a new action. Two new actions I have shown. Go to web page and wait for web page content, just like wait for window or wait for UI element on a window also. So those were about these three actions. Let's see a few more actions. Clicking of hyperlinks. That is also one of the UI elements used for RPA use cases. Close the other window. Grab the URL. Here we have a hyperlink. Let's disable everything except the launching part. and change the URL to the one with the hyperlink. So what do we have for hyperlink? Let me type link, click link on web page. Let me drag that, select its corresponding UI element, wait for the picker window, hover my mouse on it. Yeah, that's the anchor tag, which is the A tag for hyperlink. I do a control left click and I hover my mouse and check. Looks good. I want to perform a left click, save. You can add the same concept over here, wait for the hyperlink to appear and only then click on the link. Let me just do a quick look at the timing that is mentioned for the page to load. Approximately 60. Looks good, so time to run the flow. The focus went on to the web page where it is supposed to attach it. I could see the mouse pointer on the visit W3 schools and it has clicked on it, and that's the new page. Perfect. Clear with this action? It has finished its work and the page is loading. Are you guys clear with this? Okay, let's move on. We have seen web page contents. Now, yeah, we have seen wait for web page content actually, and it's similar to what we saw for Windows. This one does not have a timeout option, and whereas the wait for web page content has a timeout option. You can give the time in seconds. Go to web page is what we saw. Get details of web page. So let's see what we can get from here. Its description, perhaps the title, the code of it. Yeah, we have multiple options: web page description, web page meta keywords, title, text, URL address. Let's get the URL address in the web page property, and I'll disable this. Let's do a web page property watch on the variable and not display it. Let's do a quick check whether we have refreshed. So this run button is to run the code and bring back to its original state. I think we have seen it multiple times earlier. There's the original page. Now I right click and run from here. So you can dynamically extract even the URL of a page and use it to some other action. There the flow is complete. Let's go and check our variable in question. Yeah, it has perfectly extracted the URL. And now you can do whatever the flow needs to be done. Closing of web browser. I'll just show it without closing. Simply, you just need to give the browser instance variable the one that you want to close. Just one type of variable it accepts. That's it. Okay, what do we have next? Other key web automation operations. So I'm just showing you what all are the important operations while interacting with a web application. And one of them is injecting JavaScript into the web page. This would be useful and handy in situations where you're not able to spy or capture the UI elements of the web application. In those cases, you will be having to insert the JavaScript so that it runs appropriately, and I'll be showing you that with a live demo. We'll make use of the amazon.in web page. So there are certain learning resources over here which you will find in the links document that I have shared. JavaScript for web page. The functions that I'm going to use now are on these links, and for learning HTML, CSS selectors, jQuery, I had showed you the home page of w3schools.com. From there you can learn these. For the selector, CSS selector window in the advanced settings, we had needed the tr, td, colon, equals, 0, 1, all those things if you want to learn, and jQuery selectors which will be required. You can learn it from that web page. So we are in the home page of Amazon. So at first I will be showing you what I'm trying to do manually. I'll be showing you manually at first, and then we'll be doing it through the bot. So this is the search box of Amazon. I right click on it and inspect its element. We have done this earlier. So the console tab is what you need to have focus on if it's not there when this pane comes up. Yeah, this is input type. Input is an HTML tag for text boxes. So that is the one for the search box at the top. And the one that we want is the ID of the search text box to uniquely recognize it. I do a double click on it and make a copy of its name and go to the console. This is the console here opened. I'll just move it so that you can see. Yeah, this arrow mark over here is the console. I believe there is a clear console option also. I guess this is the one. Yeah, clear console or controller. If I click this, it will give me a cleaner look, but looks like it's loading something automatically. Yeah, this one is better. So what I'm going to do is I've copied the ID of it. So I'm typing a JavaScript code that you will get to learn from the links that I've shared. Document. As soon as I type that, I get an IntelliSense document. I press tab sign dot get element by ID, by name, tag name. There are different options. I've copied the ID, so I'll take the get element by ID into bracket and into double quotes the ID that I just copied and dot value of the text box equal to perhaps let's say books. Now I go to the end and press enter. If you can see at the top search bar, it has typed books over there. That is what I just did with that code. Now just that line is not sufficient. So now what we are going to do next is click the search button using the same option. I do document dot get element, but okay, we didn't capture yet the ID of the search button. I do a right click and inspect. And little bit if I move this, this is the submit button, the value go tab index. I see that this is the ID. I double click there. I copy the ID and try to get the same function get element by ID into bracket into double quotes ID of the button dot, this time it's a click function. I give two braces, that's a JavaScript syntax. Now I hit enter. So JavaScript is case sensitive. You will have to be careful with the syntaxes. Yeah. So I didn't click the search button. This was done by the script that we just entered. So now I close the Amazon.in web page because we are going to do this through the flow. So I'll disable what we did in the earlier section and we'll launch the Amazon web page, or should we attach it because it's taking time to load. Let's keep the web page open manually to save some time. And in the action section, the one that we want is JavaScript. Remember, there are two JavaScripts. This is the plain classic JavaScript, but this is what we want, run JavaScript function on web page. A skeleton of the function to be written, and between the brackets we need to add our function, not between the circular brackets but between the curly braces, this way. So here should come the document.getElement.id. So what we'll do is we'll get the entire line from the code because it's case sensitive and we need the cases correct. So what I do is again right click, inspect, Go to the console, type ID, that's the first one, tab, and in brackets the ID of the search box dot value is equal to books. Let me copy this. I will not yet hit enter and go to our action and paste this line. So JavaScript requires a semicolon at the end. I will apply a semicolon, and the same thing I need for the click. So I've written down the IDs of the controls. This is for the search button. Paste the value, but I need to click on it, and we should be good enough. Let's check it out in action. So just the attaching to the existing browser instance and running the JavaScript. We'll keep a watch on what happens. I'll just copy the URL along with the HTTPS. We don't need the inspect element window. Just paste it. Good to go. And now I'll run the flow from here. I believe the pad window will be overlapped when it switches to the browser window, but we should be seeing the bot type books over there and hit enter. I don't see the execution line, meaning yet the first line of code has not yet started. There it starts. Should switch the window. Observe books being typed over there and hitting enter. It's also saying Microsoft Power Automate started debugging this browser because we are injecting JavaScript and the books page is loaded. This is the books page. Did you guys notice the writing of books and hitting enter? Okay, good. Injecting JavaScript. So you can do multiple things using this wherever conventional ways are not available. So we are now on to the, any guesses based on the thumbnail? Practical exercises. Yes. So I will take the next minutes to explain the exercise. Then you guys can come back with it. Are you guys able to see the screen, the full screen view? Okay, I'm now explaining the exercise. The first exercise is add the below shown records, the one that is shown in the image over here, to the invoices tab of the Contoso application. So if you remember, we added the account, contact, amount, status. So likewise, you need to add all these, including the date. And this Excel file is placed in the exercises folder for this module. You can pick it up from there. So all these things will be pre-filled. What you need to do is write the newly generated ID to column G. So in the Contoso application, one ID gets generated. I will show you after I finish the explanation. A numeric ID. Oh, I guess I showed you 1041, 1042. So that ID you need to write against each record when it is submitted. Third point is convert the amount to any other currency and write the converted amount to column F. So you need to take this amount 1000 and go to this web page which has the from and to currency. So don't worry about whichever currency it is, just enter the value of 1000 in it, be it dollars or anything, GBP. Just enter 1000 in the first box, and whatever converted value shows up in the second box, pick that up and insert it into the, write it into the column F of that particular record. Okay, so what I was talking is the 1000 amount that was mentioned is you need to put in this first text box, and then as soon as you type it, it automatically gives the converted amount in the second text box. You need to pull this amount and enter it into the column F. Clear with the part that I explained so far? Okay, then close the Contoso application. Are you guys seeing a PowerPoint slide? Close the Contoso application, even close the browser, make use of subflows, make use of variable naming conventions, any other proper suitable actions like wait for element, wait for window, wait for web page content, all best practices that I have mentioned. Use all of them wherever applicable. This particular Excel, after done for all the records, save the Excel, attach it to Outlook or any other email if you want to use, just like the one I showed, and send it to a valid email address with the below formatted text. It should say hi in italics, then a new line. Please find the invoicing details, italics, thanks in red, and RPA bot in blue. Clear with the exercise? I will show you the ID that I'm talking about here. Let me go to the Contoso app to show you the ID. So remember the way I showed, when it launches, it focuses on the accounts tab. That is not what we want. You need to click on the invoices tab and then click on the new button at the top. Enter the date, account this. The ID that I'm talking about is here. As soon as you click on new, one ID is generated over here, and that is what you need to write in the column F. Clear with the ID part and the entire exercise 1? Okay, let me move on to the next exercise. This file is available in the exercise folder. We move on to the next exercise. So this is the RPA challenge exercise. We stopped RPA challenge after I explained how to identify the unique selectors of the 7 fields. Now that you have learnt Excel related operations, web related operations, you need to complete the remaining part till the end. The goal of the application after the run should be, at the end it should show 100% accuracy, which means all 7 fields were rightly entered from the Excel onto the web page. And this should be even after multiple runs, not only for the first time it shows 100% accuracy. You should run it multiple times and verify whether it is working fine. Clear with the assignment? Okay, one thing I need to show is there was a download Excel button, right? That you need not download using the bot. You need to click it manually, keep the Excel saved in one folder, and then that path of that Excel should be in your bot, and then you should run from there. Understood with that part? The exercise starts when you click the start button of the challenge. Are you clear with it? Clear with the downloading of Excel part? You need to do that downloading manually and not from the bot. There is a download Excel button on the bottom left corner. Yeah, but the start button should be clicked by the bot. So we move on to the next exercise. Exercise 3. This is called the automation challenge. Let me open it and explain it to you. If you see, the look and feel is similar to the RPA challenge, but there's going to be some differences. So first thing is to use this website, you need to log in using this button over here. Sign up or login. You need to create a login manually and then keep the web page logged in and then develop the bot. Clear with the part that I explained so far? So log in, and once logged in, same situation, download Excel spreadsheet. You can download it manually and then the bot should click on start. Now this time there won't be 10 records. There are 50 Excel records in the Excel. As you can see, I have highlighted my mouse over there. And then you need to enter the values on these fields. Now there is one more thing. There is going to be a CAPTCHA pop-up that's going to come up while you add the fields randomly. So what are the two things you are going to face? Identifying the selectors uniquely for those text boxes. It's not going to be same as RPA challenge. Identifying the selectors is going to take a lot of time. For that you need to go through the learning resources of jQuery CSS selectors. Then second is the CAPTCHA part. So what I suggest is this part you need to do because the topics we have covered. This part can be achieved using multiple ways. If you are able to do using the topics that we have covered, well and good. If you want to go through the list of actions on the left and see if any other suitable action is there to handle the first one. I leave it to you, first or second. Uh, and then the accuracy and the goal of this exercise is same, 100% accuracy at the end of the 50 rows entered from Excel onto this web page. One certificate is generated if you complete it, and on the leaderboard you will see your name also if you complete it using if you complete it by 100% accuracy. Clear with the exercise? Just allow it to open full screen. Thanks for the confirmation. So we have finished this module, and let me know in the next session about the exercises, how they are going on. Any questions about this module before we go on to module 7 in the next session? All right.